Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert, the Fantasy Football Counselor. Today we're talking about fantasy football depth charts. We're going to go through every single depth chart from every single team and tell you which players to draft. Fantasy football depth charts. Before we get into the show, Tim, you got to head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Also, link below. Get the 16-round draft solution. This is the game changer. All the optimal players to draft in each round, omitting the players to avoid. Everything you need. Breakout sleepers. 16-round draft solution, link below, or head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. Tim, let's get to the show.
Hey, it's Josh Jacobs, and you're listening to the Fantasy Football Counselor.
All right, guys, welcome to the show. Tim, the bald guy in the studio. What is going on, Tim?
What is going on? There's lots is going on.
What is happening?
How do I make that? Not much, man. What about you?
I'm excited, man. One of my favorite shows is Fantasy Football Depth Charts. And I don't think anybody covers it to this detail. It's going to be a longer episode, so grab a tea, coffee, beer, whatever it is you do or drink. Get ready, buckle in, strap in, whether it's your commute or whether you're in the shower or on the toilet. You know, let's stay a while. Let's talk.
Buckle in on that toilet. Just bear down and give her hell.
So listen, Tim, we're going to go through every single team, A to Z, and we're going to go through players that I like, players I don't like, the depth chart. We're going to review it. We're going to see how crowded these depth charts are, because I feel that depth charts, honestly, I know they're a big part of drafting my players. So when I look at it and I see, for example, the Cleveland Browns, I see two running backs, almost equally as skilled running backs, equally as good running backs. We had Kareem Hunt, who's a rushing leader, and Nick Chubb being drafted in the first round. I look at him and be like, okay, Nick Chubb's a little expensive for me, Tim, in the first round, knowing Kareem Hunt is elite talent. So I look at that depth chart, I study it, and I say, these guys are almost equal. So I'm going to avoid that situation. So there's little tricks I do and tactics that have helped me win my leagues. Now, if you guys are in a lot of money leagues, whatever you're in, you got to be smart because you want to make educated decisions. That's why the 16-round draft solution is going to really help you. Make sure you guys get it before we start this video. As soon as we're done, head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. I've linked it and pinned it below on the top YouTube comment here and in the body under the video. But I'm telling you guys, secure 16 rounds is going to really help you. I've done all the research for you. But hey, sometimes it's all about absorbing content, having fun, having discussions. That's what we're going to do.
Let me just tell you about the 16 rounds too. The way this came about is I was always talking to you and like, Joe, you know, everybody knows who to pick in the first 4 or 5 rounds.
Right.
It's a no-brainer, you know. I mean, you will know the top name guys. It's in those mid to late rounds where everybody needs help. And that's what kind of brought 16 rounds around. That's what born 16 rounds.
Yeah, 16 rounds was born. And then ironically, at the same time, my friend asked me to, hey man, like, can you help me do my draft? Can you come to my draft? I'm like, no man, I can't be at your draft physically. So basically he called me up. He's like, okay, who do I draft in this round? Who do I draft in this round? And then we kind of put it all together and it formed. And I'm getting a lot of DMs say, wow, Joe, this is the future of fantasy analysis. And, you know, draft kits are dead, guys. The future is here. And a lot of other podcasts and you know, so-called fantasy gurus are adapting, like, oh, Joe's upped his game, we got to start doing it. You're gonna have to, bitches, because I'm telling you, your old school way of doing things is done, man. I'm telling you, no one wants to read ADP rankings. And the thing with ADP rankings, Tim, as I'm doing my draft, whether it be whatever platform I'm using, as the draft is going, all the rankings are there in that order. So there's nothing like the magazine's gonna teach me that the system that you're drafting on doesn't already show you. So it's kind of redundant. So guys, get 16 rounds. All right, let's dive into this. All right, so Arizona Cardinals, first team here, Tim. Kyler Murray, there's so much hype around this guy. People saying he's the next Lamar Jackson. Now, I understand he's going to be good, but remember last year, guys, the mainstream all told you Baker Mayfield is going to be elite. Odell Beckham's the real deal. You guys got to get Odell, they said. You got to do this. And I was the one saying Landry's better than Odell. Avoid Baker Mayfield. Avoid Odell. So this year, there's a lot of hype around Arizona Cardinals. They're kind of like the Cleveland Browns of last year. Everyone's hyped on DeAndre Hopkins. Everyone's hyped on Drake. Everyone's hyped on Kyler Murray. And I'll tell you, man, I really feel Kenny and Drake is fool's gold. Trust me, Kenny and Drake could boom, and I could be completely wrong. He just did a post recently where he's like, hey man, like he had a smiley face. You guys probably already saw it. I put it on my social media. He had a smiley face. He's like, this is the face I make when I take you to the fantasy football championships. So it's cool that he's acknowledging it, right, Tim? But the thing is, I'm just not sold. And then we had Kingsbury say Chase Edmonds is going to be like, you know, a potential starter. They have Eno Benjamin that could be a threat. So I'm looking at the depth chart. Chase Edmonds could be a factor. Eno Benjamin eventually could get worked in. And as regards to wide receivers, I don't trust it here. Hopkins, there's so many mouse fees. Larry Fitzgerald, 109 targets last year. Christian Kirk, 107. they're still there. How many targets is Hopkins going to get? For him to thrive, he needs 150 targets. Tim, I don't like this team at all, and I'm not paying 5th-round value for Kyler Murray. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't think you're paying the value for any of these guys. I know you're never high on Kenyon Drake. DeAndre Hopkins, yeah, in the right situation, but right here, right now, no. You just, like you say, too many mouths to feed. You're not paying the price for anybody here on Arizona. Stay away.
Yeah, I'm going to stay away. Let's move on here. And again, I could be wrong. Kyler could be the next Lamar. I'm personally not doing it. So you ask me, Joe, do you want Kyler Murray round 5? No, I can get Russell Wilson round 6-7. I can get Matt Ryan round 6-7. I don't want, I could be getting an ace wide receiver there because there's a ton of them and still in round 5 available. All right, so let's go. Atlanta Falcons. This team I'm wearing the hat. Love this team.
I love this team this year as well.
Love Absolutely. Him. I know you're really got a man crush on Hayden Hurst, man. What do you feel about Hayden?
I just think it's his year. I think the move over to this team, throwing quarterback, the other guys that he has around him. I know you're really high on Todd Gurley. I'm not as high on Gurley. Either way, I think this is going to be a great year, a great team. Look for Matt Ryan to be phenomenal. Put up huge yardage.
I mean, there's all this talk about Gurley limping. It was a couple weeks ago. Man, I'd rather have him limp a little bit, have him work out the kinks in the offseason, be good to go. And if they do limit him, I was talking to a couple guys, if you guys aren't following Fan to Fan Network, make sure you guys link below, guys, at FTFN on Twitch. We're also on YouTube, so search FTFN on Twitch or Fan to Fan Network. And I was talking to a couple of our brand ambassadors. They were saying, well, yeah, Gurley might be limited a bit, to let's say 15 attempts a game, maybe. But again, they want to win. They're not going to bring in Ito Smith or Quadri Allison or Brian Hill. And when they've got the ultra elite Todd Gurley, they signed a 1-year deal with him. They're going to work him. And I'm telling you, he's going to get work. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He's probably angry, everybody calling him old and arthritis. I love Gurley this year. 2nd round guy for me. If you can get him in the 3rd, that's bonus for you. Hayden Hurst, he's primed to succeed. Will he be the next Hooper? Maybe, maybe not. We know Matt Ryan likes to target tight ends. Julio, Ridley, all going to probably have a great season. Ridley's already stated he wants a 1,000-yard receiving season. I see him, getting a lot of work in the end zone. Love Calvin Ridley and Matt Ryan coming off a bad year. Chip on his shoulder. He's going to come back, have a great year. And Matt Ryan, I see him finishing top 5. He's going to be great.
Agreed.
All right, moving on to the Ravens, another team I'm avoiding, Tim. Lamar Jackson, 2nd round ADP. Not paying it, Tim. Not a guy coming off a year. What do you think, man? Is he going to have the same type of year last year? I don't see it.
No, but I've said it before. Even if he loses 50 points or whatever, 50 fantasy points in PPR, I don't care. It's not going to matter. He's still going to be one of those top-tier quarterbacks, lost 50 points. So when you say even if he declines, he's going to decline, don't care. He's still going to be a top guy.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the wide receivers, there is not enough volume to go around with a run-first team. Now, Lamar ran a lot, 176 times. Ingram over 200 times. Now they've added J.K. Dobbins, and a lot of people are drafting Ingram thinking he's going to get the 200 attempts he got last year. They brought in Dobbins, an elite running back that could come in and potentially be a starter on his own. Great for dynasty leagues, but you're talking about a quarterback that runs a lot. You've got 2 solid running backs on paper. You've got Marquis Brown there, who I think is going to be limited. A lot of people high on him. I think the talent is there, but again, a similar situation to the Seahawks and other teams where they are flirting with Antonio Brown. There was some interest. I know Lamar likes Antonio, and if they bring Antonio Brown after week 8, that could be a thorn in Marquise Brown's side where there's already limited targets on a run-first team. And then you've got Mark Andrews here. I think he'll be safe and solid, but again, very high average draft position. Not willing to pay it for Mark Andrews, as good as the season he could have. But again, you're looking at guys, Tim, that had pinnacle years last year. Mark Andrews, great year. Lamar, great year. People still drafting these guys as if they were going to perform the same way. That's why the system is broken, and that's why 16 rounds is doing really well.
Right, and we just did our tight end episode last week, I believe, and yeah, Mark Andrews is still in my top 10, obviously, but he's definitely moved down.
All right, and that's why I'm wearing the Consheeps' shirt, guys. You got to stray away from the Consheeps. By the way, you can get our shirts on the website as well at thefantasyfootballcounts.com under store. All right, let's move rapidly here. And guys, everything I'm saying, I've done the research. It's starting to make sense. You're listening in the car. Oh, that makes sense here. Okay, limited targets for Marquise Brown. Okay, how many targets did he get? Go look into it. He didn't get a lot, right? Buffalo Bills, Josh Allen, I think he left practice yesterday. I think he's going to be okay. Don't worry about it. His backups are terrible. Jake Fromm, Matt Barkley. So hopefully Allen is good. Singletary, from what I talked to Dan Mitchell, our FTFN rep at Fan to Fan Network, he represents the Bills. He's saying that Zach Moss getting some work here. So this is one thing that really turned me off Devin Singletary this year is Zach Moss coming in Moss mode. He's going to get some work here. It's definitely going to be a 1-2 punch, and Moss is going to be a strong uppercut, I think. He's going to get some volume. I like him later, but look for this to be a 1-2 combo, Tim. I like it.
Yeah, but not even an amazing 1-2 combo. It's going to be a 1-2 combo, but there's nothing spectacular here. Nothing that gets me really excited.
Right. You got a sleeper here with Dawson Knox. Not really excited, but I think he has been working on catching the ball a little bit more. And then when you look at Stephon Diggs, you got to understand here, yes, he's the one. Yes, he's going to demand the ball. But the question is Allen going to throw? Go look at Allen's passing attempts last year. Not very high. He doesn't throw the ball a lot. He did have about 9 rushing touchdowns. If that declines a bit, hopefully he makes that up in passing. I still like Allen in the 7th round, but don't look for 9 touchdowns yet again, but look for him to throw more. And is Stephon Diggs going to be the beneficiary? That's the big question. Yes, he is, but there's still Brown and Beasley who've got that rapport with Allen. So that's a big question mark to me. So I do like Diggs as a wide receiver 2-3, but be cautious because, again, that is predicated on how much volume Allen is going to throw Diggs' way, and he's got that rapport with Brown and Beasley. So just be cautious. Those guys still will get fed. All right, Carolina Panthers here, man. So much hype about Christian McCaffrey being first overall. What are your thoughts here, Tim?
You know my thoughts. I'm just giving you the look.
Are you being conceited? Listen, Matt Rule has already said he wants to. This is injury written all over it. He wants Christian McCaffrey to start doing punt returns. You're already utilizing this guy to
don't risk him on such stupid crap.
Well, I was talking to Big Cat. He doesn't agree with this either. You're taking White Thunder and you're putting them into more lightning, right? It's just
White
crazy.
lightning.
You know, White Lightning is going to enter some thunder and storms. I don't like putting them under this much stress. I don't like the situation here, especially if they implement him in the pass, in the punt returning. Leave the guy alone. He's doing enough.
Wasn't it last year, though? They said they were going to take him off the field more often. He wasn't going to be seeing as many snaps. And they talk a lot of crap, and it doesn't work out that way.
I know. From what we're hearing from Big Cat, again, if you guys aren't following Fan to Fan Network, head on over fantofannetwork.com. All your news and information is there, and follow us on YouTube as well. We're going to be doing a live morning show, Sunday morning kickoff. It's going to be great every Sunday morning at 11 with all the ambassadors. So this is going to be phenomenal. Robbie Anderson here, Tim. I like it. I like the upside.
I was going to ask you, yeah.
From what Big Cat was saying, Robbie Anderson looks good. He's burning defenders, man, in practice. He looks really good this season, and I don't want to sleep on him as potentially being the one there. I know DJ Moore is there, but you got a new quarterback now, and who knows? Maybe Bridgewater gravitates to Robbie Anderson more. Who knows, right? Everyone's just assuming that DJ Moore has got that one role, and he probably does, but at the end of the day, if I can get Robbie Anderson for free later, give him to me.
Yeah, and like I say, and in this case, there's a huge gap in the ADP. So DJ's going around 14th amongst wide receivers. Robbie's going like 55.
Yep.
So huge gap for a guy that could potentially push the other guy and be neck and neck even.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on to the Bears here. Obviously, a quarterback battle. Looks like it's going to be Mitch Jobs to lose. I think he gets to start out of the gate. If they start winning, boom, he's going to do well. I think he's going to get going and take that job. But if they start losing, look for Nick Foles to come in. And the way I view, and I think the Bears view it similarly, Mitch is kind of that upside player, whereas Nick Foles is going to come in, manage the game, gets what needs to be done, win some games safe and securely, whereas Mitch, I think, has a little more upside. You know, it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Mitch is the starter, in my opinion. Nick Foles right behind him, breathing down his neck when you look at the depth chart. David Montgomery, not concerned about Tariq Cohen at all. When you look at the way the attempts were, Montgomery out-snapped him significantly. 242 attempts for Montgomery. Tariq Cohen nowhere near that. So when I look at this, you know, they said Cordell Patterson, who came in the league as a wide receiver, is going to come in and probably get some of that running back. They say he's a running back capable guy. I don't like him. They're using Cordell Patterson, who is a wide receiver, as a running back. I don't like that. So I don't see him being a threat. Montgomery's the guy working on his top end speed. I've told you this, in great conditioning. Love him. Do you like Montgomery this year? How are you feeling? Does your gut say maybe breakout runs this year?
Yeah, I'm still not like super high on him. I think he's got some good value, especially for his ADP. But yeah, I'm not thinking he's going to be anything amazing.
Right. Allen Robinson could do well. Miller, you know, Robinson's going to be the guy there, but is he going to be able to handle double coverage and get the volume? Possibly. It all depends on the quarterback play. And Jimmy Graham, not sold on, but Cole Kmet could be a sleeper at the tight end position.
Miller's a good pickup late, no matter what, because if anything, God forbid, does happen to Robinson, then you've got him right there.
Yeah, I think they're in. Miller, I'm not really sold on, but we're going to see what he does this year. Now, Bengals, totally suspect team. There's a lot of upside sitting here now. Who is the wide receiver that's going to get the volume with Burrow? T. Higgins is a rookie that came in. You know, he is wiry. He is dynamic. He's a dynamic playmaker from what we've seen on film. But is Burrow going to connect to him right away? It could be a connection off the bat. We don't know. A.J. Green there. Do we trust his durability? I don't. Tyler Boyd, John Ross. Who is it? Who is it going to be? You got tight end Uzomah. Do you trust the Uzomah? Is that somebody that Burrow's going to gravitate to? And then you got Mixon, who's sitting top 10 on the running back rankings. Mm-hmm. Years to wow me, I'm not wowed to him. I know we talked about him prior to the show. What do you think of Mixon?
He's had a couple of decent years the last 2 years, and he's only been in the league for 3. So he's gotten a little. So year 1 was like 140 fantasy points, then it went to like 240, then down to around 213. So he's in that range, not a top 10. God, no. I don't think that's justified, but he's definitely there as a decent pickup.
He's a safe guy in round 2. Yeah. I personally don't. I like to hit the grand slam. I'm going for guys that have a higher ceiling. That's why I'm staying away from Mixon. I don't like him. Moving on to the Browns here. We are rapid firing here. This is another offense that on paper looks pretty phenomenal. If Odell gets back to the shape he was 3 years ago, Landry gets going. Now again, what's bothering me is Odell still the wide receiver 1 when Landry outperformed him. He's clearly Baker Mayfield's top target. So when you are looking at depth charts, it's very misleading. And last year I was the only guy that said Landry is better than Odell. And people say, put that guy in a straitjacket. Hey, Joe's crazy. Put him in. I'm like, Landry's got that rapport with Baker Mayfield. Now this year, I'm probably changing my tune a little bit. I think Odell steps up a little bit more this year. He said he will. I think he gets targeted more. But again, you are looking at a run-first team essentially with Nick Chubb, who crushed it last year, but he's got Kareem Hunt there breathing down his neck. We talked about this at the beginning of the show. Tim, how do you feel about the situation? I know how you feel, but to people who are listening and just tuning in right now and just haven't caught what we were talking about in the offseason, explain how you feel about this tandem.
Yeah, I've always been with you on this one. Even last year, I was talking about it. When Kareem Hunt came back, you knew that the Chubb's numbers were going to drop, and they dropped significantly. Yes, he still had 2 major weeks in the last 6 weeks, I think it was. But Kareem Hunt was right there stealing points, and these guys were like neck and neck. In fact, Hunt outscored him 6 out of 8 weeks or something.
Yeah, like in PPR points. Now, here's the thing. So let's just say in one game, I think a couple of those games, it was like an even split. So in some of those games, like Nick Chubb had like 14
it was
points.
Very close.
Kareem Hunt had like 15 points, and then games of the outscored. So they were close. But here's the deal. So if you're in the championships or you're trying to make the playoffs in your fantasy leagues, and Nick Chubb is your RB1, you've invested first round, early second round draft capital on this guy, okay? And Kareem Hunt is there stealing, like a thief in the night, stealing 15 points from you when you need it the most. Those receptions, PPR points, could have gone to Nick Chubb. You are losing 15 points, and you could have lost that week by a point. But those 15 points, those 5 points, those 2 points went to Kareem Hunt when they could have gone to your RB1. You're going to be crying at the end of the season. Stay the hell away from Nick Chubb. You can't ignore, Stefanski's there. He ran Dalvin Cook last year. He's going to run Nick Chubb the same way he ran Dalvin Cook. Shut up, Joe. I still believe in Nick Chubb. This is what I'm hearing. I hear this every day. You can't ignore the NFL rushing leader and PPR potential monster of Kareem Hunt. You just can't ignore him. So when I look at this depth chart, I see 2 guys where Kareem Hunt is actually better than Nick Chubb. I don't care, maybe not as a pure runner, but overall, a better running back. So I'm staying away from this entire offense. Everyone's thinking Austin Hooper is going to be the same Austin Hooper with Matt Ryan. I don't see it. It's a make or break year for Baker Mayfield. I'm not investing in any of these players now. If Kareem Hunt's sitting there in round 8, which I doubt he will be, I might grab him, but other than that, staying away.
Yeah. Like you say, there are so many decent mouths to feed on this team. Too many guys to spread the ball around to. I'm not buying into any of this either, unless the price is really right.
Yep, the price is right. Moving on to Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Now, this is a guy I was be able to get as a backup guy for all my, because I knew the Conchiefs were sleeping on. Now they're all over him. They got him like top 3 quarterback. Am I investing in Dak now? I think he's going to have a great season. Yes. Am I investing? No. Why? I mean, way too early for a guy I've been getting the past couple of years in the 10th round. Forget it. Zeke Elliott, safe and solid. He had 301 attempts last year. I only think second to Derrick Henry. Love this guy. But again, Pollard's going to be a little bit of a factor there. I think they're going to throw a little bit more this year. It's McCarthy there. They've got Cooper. They've got Gallup. They got CeeDee Lamb they brought in. I'm staying away from this receiving corps because, again, you look at Amari Cooper, Tim, 119 targets last year with CeeDee Lamb not there. I can only see that going down. So I don't like this situation. Blake Jarwin has some ceiling, but again, there's a lot of targets to feed here, Tim. I don't like it.
Yeah, maybe Amari Cooper based a little too high right now, kind of in the top 10 for wide receivers, where, like I say, you've got some other really good talent there. Those guys are the ones I would look more for in the middle rounds.
Right.
Give me a Gallup, give me a Lamb in the middle.
Yeah, I'm staying away from this. The three-headed monster, that wide receiver. And again, similar to this next team, Denver Broncos, when you look at the Denver Broncos, similar, you got Hamler. I think he was banged up. He had a little recent injury. I think he's going to be okay, though. Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, it's like who's going to be the one? And then typically you'd really know. I know Sutton seems like the obvious guy, and you'd know, but like Drew Lock, we don't know. Like he could gravitate. It could be the Noah Fant Drew Lock show. And then he likes Hamler. We don't know. And then you got Lindsey at Gordon. Lindsey doesn't want to give up that starting job. From what we're hearing, it's going to be a 1-2 punch, and there's no designated starter. So I'm staying away from Gordon, Lindsey. I may get Jeudy later, maybe Fant late, maybe Drew Lock as a backup quarterback with a high ceiling because I love Drew Lock. But way too much going on here. It's kind of like overwhelming for me a little bit.
Definitely when the running backs come into play. We used to talk about Freeman, Lindsey all the time last year. Now you got Freeman, Lindsey, Gordon.
Forget it.
So yeah, Freeman's probably going to be pushed to the side a little more, but even still, you've got three pretty decent mouths to feed here.
I'm staying away. All right. Detroit Lions, Stafford, if healthy, going to be solid. Now here is where it's a perfect example of wide receiver where Amendola and Marvin Jones are nowhere near the talent of Kenny Golladay. I'm looking for him to emerge here. Now, a lot of people say Marvin Jones is a factor, but if you look at Marvin Jones, he had one big game where he had like 4 touchdowns, which completely inflated his numbers last year, and he had suspect quarterbacks throwing him the ball. So I like Kenny Golladay this year. Hawkinson a little bit banged up, but I like him as a late round sleeper. Swift, he was a little bit banged up in practice, but I think he'll be okay, should take the starting job, but they're going to be running by a committee. And then I also look at history here, Tim. I look at history and I look at the situation. I see that the Lions have not turned out an elite running back for fantasy for years. So I don't see that really changing. I do see Swift possibly being the starter, taking that job, but I don't get giddy and excited about the Lions when it comes to fantasy, and I like Stafford as a backup quarterback. Any thoughts on the Lions?
Nope, exactly what you said. I'm not thrilled with any of their position players, and yeah, same thing with Stafford.
All right, guys, and again, 16 rounds. You can see the research I've done here, and I've handpicked players I like and which round to take them based on the research I'm doing. So make sure you guys get the 16-round draft solution, guys. TheFantasyFootballCouncil.com. You're going to be very, very happy people. All right, so Green Bay Packers here. We got Aaron Rodgers. I think he has a great season this year. I really do. A lot of people sleeping on him, chip on his shoulder. We got Aaron Jones. Again, similar. People pretty much drafting Aaron Jones, thinking he's the Aaron Jones of 2019. When you're looking at 2020 fantasy football, it's a different scenario. He had 16 rushing touchdowns. Not going to happen again with the monster that is AJ. Have you seen his quads, Tim?
No. I've heard you talking to some of the other guys.
Oh my God. You haven't seen the picture of this guy's quads?
No.
Oh my goodness.
I heard you talking to some of the FTFN guys asking who's got the bigger quads.
Okay, so guys, take a look at Tim's body here from shoulder to shoulder. That is AJ Dillon's calf muscle. Right there, from left to right. That's his calf. That's how big. He's like the Incredible Hulk, man. I'm telling you, he's a monster. I love him. I absolutely love him. His quads are bigger than Saquon's.
So what you're trying to get at here is value. He is value where he's...
Just stash him as your RB5, 6 on your roster. AJ Dillon, just stash him. That's it, man. I don't know what to tell you. Aaron Jones, obviously he's the starter, but he's only finished 1 out of the 3 seasons he's played. He's a contract year, but the Packers are looking at a guy that they may not have to pay. Get him on a rookie contract. He could be the workhorse. Why not? Value, cash, more cash in the pocket, right? So you got Adams as well. I think he's going to have a good season if healthy. Lazard is getting first team reps. He is slated as the wide receiver too. Immense value. Timmy's sitting 66th, I think, on the consensus ranking.
Absolutely, man.
Huge.
Yeah,
huge.
He's totally worth it.
I love him as a sleeper. And then you got Jay Sternberger. I'm not really sold on his tight end. I'm not really excited, but he has some upside. Texans here, David Johnson. Do I need to go into this? Do I really need to go into this?
No, because everybody will write in saying, get off of David's D.
Yeah, I don't care. Listen, David Johnson's going to thrive this year, and I can't wait, knock on wood. It's because Council Nation's going to come in strong. It's going to be a primetime game. It's going to be Texans versus Chiefs, and it's coming, guys. It's coming September 10th. We are almost there. So you're going to have David Johnson versus Pat Mahomes, that game, primetime. Going to be exciting. Listen, the Texans have something to prove. They gave up Hopkins pretty much for David Johnson. and they're going to prove that they made the right decision. I'm telling you guys.
I don't always agree with you, but I 100% agree with you on David Johnson.
He's going to get the volume.
I have talked him up this year.
And the value.
Yeah.
The value.
Fourth round, third, fourth. Like, come on. Are you kidding me?
A workhorse, right? And this is what people aren't seeing. You're getting Nick Chubb in the late first, and you're okay with that, yet you don't want to pay a third to fourth value for David Johnson, who's a workhorse running back that we know is going to get the work. Forget it, man. He's going to thrive. Then you got Will Fuller and Cooks. I like Cooks, but again, a similar team that's been flirting with Antonio Brown. Could he end up there? It could be a buzzkill, so be cautious with that. Will Fuller, a lot of people saying he's going to break out. We see Deshaun Watson praising him, saying he's going to have a good year, but can the guy stay on the field? I like Cooks a little bit better. Yes, he's had his issues with concussions, but I'm not too concerned. He should be okay this year. Darren Fells, I'm not really sold at tight end. And Deshaun Watson could be safe, but again, he's had injuries in the past as well. Always a bit of a concern for me for a running quarterback who's had multiple knee injuries in the past. I know he's okay now, but always kind of makes me feel, a little uncomfortable,
Yep.
So we go ahead. Next, Indianapolis Colts. Love this team. I see fantasy football all over this. First of all, it's your guy Rivers, your boy.
I like him. Safe and steady. He's my guy.
That's your boy Rivers. So Phillip Rivers, the guy, backup quarterback. This guy was 7th in attempts last year. He throws the ball. Phenomenal O-line, so he's going to have more time to throw. He's got great receivers. Not phenomenal. He doesn't have Julio Jones, but T.Y. Hilton hasn't had a good quarterback thrown to him since Andrew Luck. He's got Phillip Rivers now. I think that's going to be a great connection. Great value for a wide receiver one in the 5th round. If you don't feel comfortable with him, I know Paris Campbell is slated ahead of the depth chart, but look for Michael Pittman to emerge. A guy that the Colts invested first pick in the draft capital for NFL Draft 2020. That was their first pick ahead of Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, Rivers is not a running quarterback by any means. Yes, the running backs can get some work done here.
Right.
I mean, you got Jonathan Taylor coming in, but still, look for Rivers to throw the ball. There's going to be a lot of yards to go around here.
Absolutely. And then we've got I don't want to get down to Jacksonville yet. Jonathan Taylor, he's going to take the job. They said, so this is we were having this conversation here with the fan-to-fan guys, and I said, okay, I was talking to Bring the Juice podcast. They're the Colts ambassadors at Fan-to-Fan Network. And I'm like, yeah, they're saying hot hand, but that's a nice way of saying you suck, Mac. Taylor's taking the job.
Yeah.
All right, it's like saying, hey, Tim, I've got this new guy, Johnny. He's coming on to the show. And hey, we're just going to ride the hot hand. Whoever does better on
Johnny's
the podcast.
a little better doing this than you are, so we're going to go with him this time. Maybe next time we'll give you a shot.
Yeah, but the hot hand means like, okay, well, Johnny's just doing better than Tim every episode, so we're going to phase Tim out. I don't want to tell Tim we're phasing Tim out, but that's what the Colts are doing to Mac. They're not saying, Mac, you suck. You've given us a couple 1,000-yard rushing seasons, whatever. We don't want to say Taylor's going to be the man, you're going to be his bitch, but we're basically saying that by saying that you're going to be the hot hand, straight up. So Taylor's going to take this job. 3rd round average draft position, typically. Great value, a guy that could take the job. Get him as part of a robust RB strategy. You're going to be very happy. Stash Michael Pittman later. And Doyle, another tight end sleeper. We know Phillip Rivers uses his tight ends, so why not?
Yep.
There you go. A lot of value. I'm seeing fantasy written all over this, okay? Jacksonville Jaguars, Minshew, safe and solid backup. Leonard Fournette, contract year, obviously needs to perform. You like Fournette this year
I like Fournette, especially at his ADP, man. Once again, you're getting him 3rd round typically.
Yep, 3rd round. And he had 3 touchdowns last year. That's going to go up. They're definitely going to get near the red zone a little bit more. Minshew, obviously a step-up year this year for him, a little more comfortable. Shark, going to be a primary target. They've got a rookie, Laviska Shenault, gadget player. Not really sold on him getting a ton of volume, but you never know. D.D. Westbrook, years to wow. And Eifert, I can't trust. So Fournette, Shark, I like. Shark, 5th round value. Yet again, good value.
The big thing with Fournette, too, is his receiving numbers went up huge last year. I think they basically doubled last year. So that's why I'm so high on him, too.
Right. All right, Kansas City Chiefs. Pat Mahomes. I like Pat Mahomes, obviously, but do I like him in the 2nd round? Not really. I think he's going to have a great year. Tyreek Hill. Do I like him? Yeah, but not at the end of the 1st round. A guy that I like, but he just walked off with a bit of an injury the other day. I think he's okay. Might have been a hamstring tear or twist or whatever the hell it is. This guy has struggled with injuries in the past, off-field issues, and he's very volatile game in, game out, so very hard to trust. If you want a guy, go and be Cole Hardman for free later as your wide receiver 5-6 as a sleeper, and he's going to have volatile games too, but you don't have to pay 1st-round pick for him. That's all. Right. Clyde Edwards-Lair, a lot of talk about this guy. Is he worth a 1st-round pick?
He's being hyped up huge now.
Huge. And I understand the hype. They still got Darwin Thompson. It could be a bit of a threat. DeAndre Washington, Darrell Williams. The big question is here, Is his pass protection going to be up to par? Are they going to bring in someone else eventually, maybe a veteran like a Devontae Freeman that's lingering just to ensure the safety of the big investment in Pat Mahomes? So I think they obviously believe in Lair. They wouldn't have acquired him in the first round with the 32nd pick overall. I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough if you do get him, and I definitely see the appeal. I'm not going to say not to draft him. I can't say that because I definitely see the talent, the upside, and the high-octane offense. But I just feel a little more comfortable with Josh Jacobs in the first round. That's all.
Yeah, so what you're saying is it could happen, but I just don't want to take that risk when I know there's someone just a little more solid there.
I think so. He's coming off 6th, Tim, off the board.
Yes.
6th, 7th pick overall.
I don't get it.
Unproven on a team that doesn't really care about your fantasy because we saw it last year. We saw Darwin Thompson come in. He looked really good on the weights and trading. They brought Shady McCoy and brought him. What were they doing? Yet they have a formula of winning, and I don't know, man. They'll do whatever it takes to win. There's no integrity for fantasy players. Then Kelsey, again, not investing in him. Safe and solid, but very early for a tight end. Let's rapid fire here. We're moving quick. We still got a ton of teams left here. So let's move on to the Chargers here. Stay away from everybody here. Honestly, I heard... What are you talking about?
Eckler.
Come on.
Eckler is my boy. You are sleeping on him, and you're going to eat your words.
I'm staying away from Eckler, man. I'm staying away.
Eckler in the second round, I'm all over it.
Not staying away. Phillip Rivers is your guy, I thought, and he was the guy dumping the ball to Eckler last year, and guess what? He's not there. So, yeah, there'll be a lot of checkdowns with Tyrod Taylor. I don't know, man.
Eckler's there, dude. He's what you want in a running back.
Not
receiving and rushing.
Mike Williams, I heard he was a little banged up in practice. Keenan Allen, don't trust him. I mean, he's going to get the volume. Someone's going to catch the ball, but
Hunter Henry.
I can't stay healthy. I'm staying away from this entire offense. Eckler's just not a true workhorse running back. He's just not.
You're going to eat your words.
Okay, we'll see. All right, Los Angeles Rams, Goff, safe, secure. Cam Akers. Now, Henderson went out with a soft tissue injury. This is why I'm liking. Okay, so when the draft happened, Tim, I saw Akers land here. I'm like, okay, obviously the Rams don't believe in Darrell Henderson. He only had like 39 attempts last year. Malcolm Brown is kind of the veteran there, but obviously years to wow us, we're not wowed. John Kelly's done nothing. Cam Akers, one of the top running back prospects coming in. Now, first team reps, getting some work. Now, he did fumble in practice. I think it was Donald that hit the ball out of him, but it's okay. He came back, getting some volume. 5th round, not bad. Now, there is some talk that it is going to be a committee. The hot hand will prevail here, and I think it's going to be Akers.
Right, so for 5th round, it's good value.
Now, I heard Van Jefferson's making some nice catches here as the rookie here. He's 4th on the depth chart behind Reynolds, Kupp, and Woods. I would have liked Van Jefferson here, but the simple reason I don't is because Woods and Kupp are still ahead of him in the pecking order, and they've got Higbee, who did pretty well last year. Look for him to be a safe tight end you can get for decent value mid-rounds there for Higbee if you want a tight end. Vegas Raiders here. It's weird calling them Vegas Raiders, but Jacobs, man, apparently he's doing phenomenal in practice. We were talking to our Raiders guy, Darian, Spotlight Raiders. Again, if you guys aren't following Fan to Fan Network, head on over, bookmark fantofannetwork.com, the page, and of course, follow below on, I've linked the YouTube channel below. All right, Josh Jacobs, solid. Jalen Richard, they got Theo Riddick in there now. Not really sold on these guys. Ruggs, apparently he should do okay. Brian Edwards, Brian Edwards and Ruggs, the young dynamic talent there. Edwards getting a lot of reps. Ruggs, I think, is going to be up and down in games. He was invested heavily in the draft capital by the Raiders. I'm not really sold on him, Tim. I'm just not sold on him being the guy because I don't trust Derek Carr.
The thing here for me is there is no clear-cut wide receiver one that is going to outpace the other guys by a huge margin. So if you can get any of these guys at a decent price, why not?
You better know.
Darren Waller is going to be all over the ball.
He will be. You better know it's not going to be Hunter Renfrow. There's my rhyme. And I don't sold out Derek Carr. All right. Miami Dolphins, their running backs are a disaster. Breida, Laird, Howard, are you kidding me? Howard being on the top of the depth chart. Years to wow me, Tim, and guess what? I'm not wowed.
But if the price is right and I need a pick, I'm taking it.
That's why you got to load up on running backs early. You're going to end up with a Jordan Howard. You're going to be a very sad soul this year. Now, Fitzmagic should be getting the start. Tua, obviously, having some struggles in camp, not doing as well as projected. It's going to take him some time to get integrated. Fitzmagic is the guy. The big debate here, I like Gesicki, by the way, as a sleeper. I think he's going to get some volume. The big question is Parker or Preston Williams. Who's going to be the one there? We don't know. Preston Williams showing some promise coming off an injury. I don't know, man. It's going to be tough. And again, I don't really want to roll the dice with these guys.
The big thing is there are yards to be had.
Holy
crap.
Rough morning,
Woo, baby. Anyways, there are yards to be had here, so someone is going to benefit from that. Why not? If the ADP is right, just take either one of these guys.
All right, Minnesota Vikings here. Let's move on here. Kirk Cousins going to be safe, not really targeting him. Thielen could have a phenomenal season. The guy I like as a sleeper wide receiver is Justin Jefferson. Great value. Dalvin Cook, not sold on him.
Never sold on him.
I like Madison late as a sleeper. Irv Smith, not really sold. But Jefferson, Madison, love. That's all. Let's move on. New England Patriots staying away from this entire team. Let's move on, except for Devin Asiasi. That's it. They know how to draft tight ends. Cam Newton likes tight ends. Equals Devin Asiasi later. Just stash him. Late round backup tight end. Nobody's talking except for the counselor. Devin Asiasi. Why not?
Asiasi!
Yeah, you get him he's not even going to go drafted. I know you're going to say, well, Joe, why do I got to draft him? I got to pick him. Why do you want to waste your FAAB? I always have a hard time. Free agent acquisition budget first week. If it's a blind bid, you're going to spend half your budget, or you're going to waste a waiver wire priority or whatever on Devin Asiasi once he has a good first week.
Yeah, pick him up late.
If you have room, you guys should be pushing your commissioners to have more bench spots this year because of what happened with the world. And there's possible situation where these guys could be under quarantine for a couple weeks. So Devin Asiasi, just stash the guy and stop talking about it. All right. New Orleans, because their wide receivers are Edelman, N'Keal Harry, Sanu. I don't trust these guys. Jacoby Myers, I don't know. Stidham was banged up. It's a disaster. And then don't even talk about running backs there, man. Damian Harris could emerge, but Sony Michel's there. James White. Burke Face is there. I know it's Burkhead. Listen, stay away. Okay, Saints here. Michael Thomas, pinnacle year last year. He's going to 185 targets.
Still going to be amazing.
Not happening.
Going to be amazing.
He's not going to have the same year. Still,
he might not have the same year, but he's still going to be amazing.
Jared Cook came on strong with touchdowns. I like him at the end of the season. That could continue. I hate Drew Brees. He's so volatile game in, game out, Tim. I hate him for that. I hate the 40-point game and then the 4-point game after that. And I hate when Taysom Hill comes in. I hate it. He always comes in near the goal line. Now you're saying, Joe, that's not a big deal if he comes in for 1 or 2 plays. But it is a big deal because you've got Drew Brees near the goal line and he could either run it in. I know Drew Brees won't run it in, but either A, run it in, or B, short pass for a touchdown. There goes 5 points, 4 or 5 points.
And I know it doesn't matter this year, but Jameis Winston there now. Just think, a year or two, he's the man.
You never know. Latavius Murray, Kamara is going to be safe. What you see is what you get. Contract year could be interesting. All right, let's move on. Giants, rapid fire. Saquon Barkley, love him. Improved O-line. Slayton is slated as a wide receiver 1. Daniel Jones, I think he's going to do good. I'm not really sold on him having this phenomenal year.
Ingram coming off like a half a year injury, but still should be really good if he's healthy.
Always banged up. He's a big dice roll, decent value, but again, you're rolling the dice on injuries. New York Jets here. Le'Veon Bell.
Don't even bother.
The boxing.
Stop being a little media.
I still want to box him. I want to box him. He wants to box me. I know he does.
In private.
All right. Sam Darnold, I'm not sold on. They've got no receiver here. I don't trust. Mims already banged up. Perriman banged up. Crowder, Herdon. It's disaster, man. They've got 30 wide receivers here, and none of them I would draft. I mean, Josh Bellamy, Chris Hogan, who are these guys? Josh Malone, I don't trust anyone. Forget. Let's move on.
Nothing exciting.
Eagles, a lot of hype around Jalen Reagor, but do we trust Carson Wentz staying healthy? Then they've got Zach Ertz and Goddard, the two-headed monster. Goddard was a little banged up as well. Miles Sanders was a little banged up. Lower body injury, not discussing what it is. The Eagles
that's not good.
Tight-lipped about it. Tell us what's going on with Sanders. And again, this is where that situation is. I love Miles Sanders. They've already said he's going to get 300 attempts. Came on strong near the end of the season, but are they going to bring in a Devontae? That Devontae Freeman lingering thing is always bothering me.
So you got Devontae and you got AB just sitting there.
Yeah.
Who takes them and who gets screwed?
Who are they going to buzzkill? I don't know, man. I'm just afraid because these guys were flirting with other running backs to come in, and now with Sanders with this lower body injury, maybe we'll bring in someone. We're going to do it anyway now that he's got a little bit of an injury. Boston Scott's not a guy that I think could do it behind him.
I was high on Sanders, man, so I hope he can come back from this fairly quickly and be good.
And he's hungry. All right, Steelers love this team. Deontay Johnson, Claypool, the guys I'm stacking. And some people are saying, well, Joe, you're wasting an extra wide receiver slot. Just get one. I like both. I think both of them could really emerge. I think both of them could get first-team reps consistently if they line up Juju in the slot. You got Claypool and Deontay on the outside. Washington sucks. James Conner, do we trust him, Tim? Injury,
Nah, I mean, he's okay. I'm not expecting anything amazing from him this year, so just give me him late, maybe.
Ebron, I'm not sold on. They've got Vance McDonald, did nothing last year. Big Ben should have a safe year. And then they've got McFarland, the rookie. Then they got Benny Snell, who's breathing down. Connor's neck, he wants to get more reps, but he didn't really wow us last year, so I'm not sold. I'm staying away.
Do you want me to rubber stamp that? Yeah, I'm not sold.
Yeah, I'm not sold. All right, Seattle Seahawks here. By the way, we're going to every team. We've looked at every depth chart on their team pages. Russell Wilson, safe and solid, like him. Chris Carson's got company with Carlos Hyde. Carlos Hyde, a pest. He's going to be a pest.
He's a big pest, guys.
I know.
I mean, come on.
Lockett, Metcalf. I don't think they're fully sold on these receivers. Hence why they really want Antonio Brown. Greg Olsen, old, washed up, move on. 49ers staying away from this entire offense. Ayuk is appealing. Samuel's appealing, but again, banged up a little bit. Kittle, primary target, am I investing second round pick? No. Raheem Mostert, Coleman, McKinnon, what a disaster, staying away from the situation. Although there is some appeal with Mostert later.
Yeah. If the price is right, why not?
All right, Buccaneers, Ronald Jones. Apparently he's slated high on the depth chart. They brought McCoy in for some reason. Don't know why. He's going to be a pest. I think, again, the way I view Ronald Jones is the way I view James White. I think it's going to be a similar type situation. He's going to get some work in the passing game, going to be safe and solid, good flex play, but not a guy I'm overly excited about, but decent value in drafts. They've got rookie Keyshawn Vaughn there. They've got Dir Agubawali in there as well. So Agubawali could come in and get some work. Mike Evans and Godwin, second, third round ADPs on these guys. Who is it going to be, Tim? Let's roll the dice.
No, man.
Who's going to be the guy?
It is so 50-50 here.
It's only going to be one.
Well, yeah, but I can't call which one. It's so damn close.
I'm torn. I think it's going to be Godwin, but who knows? Gronkowski again. I mean, apparently they're saying he's back in shape.
Is it the old connection working again? I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be as high as it used to be.
I like Brady. Brady's the only guy I really trust here because he's got great targets around him. And then you've got Tennessee Titans. Still like Derrick Henry. I don't know. Someone's telling me I'm not as sold on Derrick Henry as I was last year.
Why not, right? Pinnacle year. So, you like to talk about all these other guys that had pinnacle years declining. Henry might decline a little bit.
That's what I'm feeling.
You know what? And I crapped on him last year a little. I wasn't as high on him as you were. This year, I kind of see it justified. He should still be up there. Yeah,
Darrinson Evans, the rookie, not a threat. A.J. Brown, love him. I think they're going to be throwing more this year. Man, it's going to be interesting to see how much volume he gets. Geno Smith could be a safe tight end, and I love Tannehill as a guy that was really coming on near the mid to end of the season. I love him. Great value and a quarterback sleeper. Washington, other than McLaurin, I'm staying away now. Bryce Love moving his way up the depth chart, but Peterson is there. The veteran just doesn't want to go away. The reason Peterson's still there, in my opinion, he just wants to break records, man. He just wants to just keep keeping the legacy.
Look at what he did last year when he came back, man. It was pretty amazing.
He can still do it. Not on the level he did with the Vikings years ago, but he can still get it done. Haskins, Allen, Alex Smith. It's going to be a bit of a battle there. Alex Smith now back into shape. We're going to see what happens there. McLaurin's the safest guy here. He's the best wide receiver on the team. He's going to get the volume. Jeremy Sprinkle, Logan Thomas, the tight ends. Just forget about it, man.
Yeah, not much here.
Not much here. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. And did we keep it under an hour? We did, man.
Well, we did because you started rapid firing. But that's okay. We still gave you the info you need.
Go back and rewind and watch again. Do you guys, does that rewind? Is rewind still relevant now or no?
I don't think you would call it rewind.
No?
No, it's not rewind. Like you move back, track back. I don't know.
There's no more rewinding, is there?
No, you're dating yourself big time.
Okay. Please be kind, rewind. All right, guys, make sure you guys get the 16 round draft solution. And again, there's a ton of information in this video. Go back, make some notes. You'll be very, very happy. But 16 rounds you'll be very happy with as well.
Absolutely.
Link in the bio. Smash thumbs up. It really helps us. And it gets, every time I hit the smash thumbs up, a hair grows on top of Tim's head.
Yeah, and as you can see, we still need a lot.
There you go, guys. Leave your fantasy questions below. Thanks for being here, guys. And we are full force fantasy season. We're almost there, Tim.
God, yes.
Yes. All right. We'll talk soon. Thanks.
Have a good one, everybody.